Hi everyone. Today my topic is about drugs in angina and myocardial infarction. Let's start with anti-anginal drugs. Actually, angina is a symptoms of ischemic heart disease. Anginal pectoris occurs due to imbalance between the decreased oxygen supply and increased oxygen demand. There are of two forms, classical and variant, and also angina is divided into three types: stable angina, unstable angina and variant angina. Let's go into these three types. Stable angina is also a classical angina. It occurs episodes of chest pains. That's why it's called as stable angina. Unstable angina, it occurs angina at rest position or due to increased frequency and duration of attacks. The next one is variant angina. Variant angina is also referred as Prinzmetal angina. It occurs only at rest position and also due to spasm of coronary arteries. Let's go into the pathophysiology of angina. There are only two factors: decreased oxygen supply and increased oxygen demand. Due to decreased oxygen supply, coronary atherosclerosis, vasospasm and thrombosis may occur. Coronary atherosclerosis, vasospasm and thrombosis. And the next one is increased oxygen demand. Due to increased oxygen demand, there will be increase in heart rate and ventricular hypertrophy. For maintaining the angina, we should maintain the balance between oxygen supply and also the oxygen demand. Next we go into the classification of anti-anginal drugs. Anti-anginal drugs are classified into 5 types: nitrates, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, potassium blockers and others. I will repeat again. The classification of anti-anginal drugs are nitrates, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, potassium blockers and others. First we go into the nitrates. Nitrates is also referred as organic nitrates. It is a prodrug that releases nitric oxide. They are of mainly venodilators and also causes arterial dilation, reduces preload and afterload conditions. The classification of organic nitrates are into nitroglycerin, isosorbate dinitrate, isosorbate mononitrate and erythryl tetranitrate. We can keep it as a nitrate classification as nitroglycerin, also isosorbate dinitrate, isosorbate mononitrate. First we go into mono, di and tetra. Isosorbate mononitrate, isosorbate dinitrate and erythryl tetranitrate. Next we go into the mechanism. Actually, a mechanism is about nitrates. Nitrates get denitrated while entering into the smooth muscle wall and then releases nitric oxide in the muscle cell. The nitric oxide stimulates guanyl cyclase to increase cGMP. This leads to dephosphorylation of myosin light chain and also decrease in calcium concentration in the cytosol. This further effects leads to relaxation of vascular smooth muscle fibers. First, nitrate gets into the smooth muscle cell wall and gets denitrated there, releases nitric oxide. Then further it stimulates the guanyl cyclase to increase the cGMP. Further, finally it leads to dephosphorylation of myosin chain and also decreases the calcium concentration in the cytosol. Finally releases to the relaxation of smooth muscle fibers. These are the mechanism of organic nitrates here. Next we go into the actions. There is no direct effectiveness in this heart according to the organic nitrates. They are involved in vascular and smooth muscle. Vascular and smooth muscle act as a venodilation, arterial dilatation and dilatation of large coronary and collateral vessels. 3 factors are involved: venodilation, arterial dilatation of large coronary and collateral vessels. These are involved in the vascular and smooth muscles. In the smooth muscles, they are involved in relaxation of bronchi, esophagus and biliary tract. These are the actions of organic nitrates in the vascular smooth muscles and smooth muscle. There is no direct effect in the heart. Next, we go into the adverse effect. Adverse effect as common as comparatively headache, then postural hypotension due to oxygen demand, and due to heart rate increases there will be tachycardia, then pain, then weakness, and rarely syncope. These are the adverse effects of nitrates in the anginal drugs. Further adverse effects of anginal drugs are palpitation and also weakness. Next, we go into the isosorbate dinitrate. They are used only sublingually, and also in severe conditions they are used as in acute anginal attacks. Only sublingually for acute anginal attacks. Isosorbate mononitrate. Next one. It is preferred than isosorbate dinitrate because of its long duration act and also high on bioavailability. First, we go into the isosorbate dinitrate. It is used sublingually and also acute subgingival attacks. Next, we go into isosorbate mononitrate. They are comparatively effective rather than the isosorbate dinitrate because of its long duration and high effect on bioavailability. Next, we go into the treatment process. In treatment process, in acute angina, nitroglycerin is given in 0.5 mg sublingually. For prophylaxis condition, longer acting nitrates will be given. And the third one is variant angina. Variant angina is also called as Prinzmetal angina. It occurs due to coronary vasospasm. So, we can give nitrates for prophylaxis condition and also the calcium channel blockers. Prophylaxis for nitrate for prophylaxis and calcium channel blockers is given for variant angina. Next one is unstable angina. For unstable angina, we can give antiplatelet agents and also anticoagulants. We can also give nitrates, beta blockers, and calcium channel blockers. The final one is cyanide poisoning. We can give sodium nitric plus sodium thiosulfate drugs for cyanide poisoning. These are the nitrates classification. We can go into further nitrates. First, nitrates is a prodrug that releases nitric oxide, and the mechanism is it gets into the smooth muscle wall and gets denitrated and releases some glycyl nitrates to stimulates guanylyl cyclase and also increases the cGMP. Therefore, dephosphorylation occurs, and also due to decreased concentration of calcium, relaxation of vascular smooth muscles occurs. Then we go into the adverse effects. Adverse effects: headache, postural hypotension. Due to increased heart rate, it will be tachycardia and palpitation, weakness, rarely syncope. Their actions are on vascular smooth muscle wall and smooth muscle wall. Vascular smooth muscle wall, venodilation, arterial dilatation, dilatation of coronary and collateral vessels. In smooth muscle, they are relaxation of bronchi, esophagus, biliary tract. Isosorbate dinitrate is given sublingually for acute anginal attacks, and isosorbate mononitrate is comparatively effective rather than the isosorbate dinitrate because of its longer duration and high effect on bioavailability. These are the nitrates used in the treatment of angina. First, glyceryl trinitrate is used, that is nitroglycerin, in dosage of 0.5 mg and 0.4 mg, 5 to 10 mg. 0.5 mg is used sublingually for duration of 10 to 30 minutes. 0.4 mg is used lingually for 20 to 30 minutes. And 5 to 10 mg is used in transdermal patch up to 24 hours. Next one is isosorbate dinitrate. Isosorbate dinitrate is used 2.5 to 10 mg sublingually for 20 to 60 minutes. 2.5 to 10 mg for 20 to 60 minutes. And then 5 to 40 mg orally for 6 to 8 hours. Then the third one is isosorbate mononitrate. Isosorbate mononitrate is given 20 to 40 mg orally for 6 to 10 hours. Erythryl tetranitrate is given 20 to 40 mg orally for 4 to 6 hours. These are nitrates used in the treatment of angina. Next, we go into the second classification, beta blockers. Comparatively in nitrates, we use as nitroglycerin, isosorbate dinitrate, isosorbate mononitrate. Nitrates are only involved. As in compared to beta blockers, LOL, it ends in LOL, propranolol, metoprolol, atenolol and timolol. These are the beta blockers. In beta blockers, these 4 drugs blocks the respiration of heart rate. So it finally leads to decreased heart rate, and the force of myocardial infarction is also decreased, so that it involves in cardiac work. So myocardial oxygen consumption is low there. I will explain you a second time. Beta blockers are 4 types. These blocks the respiratory path of heart, so that heart rate will be decreased and the force of myocardial infarction will be also decreased. It finally leads to into the cardiac work, so that it leads to into decreased myocardial oxygen consumption. The uses of beta blockers are here are anginal prophylaxis, slow or short duration, and also it leads to increased exercise tolerance, and second one is frequent anginal episodes will be decreased, and third one is decreased mortality. Uses of beta blockers will be 3: increased exercise tolerance, decreased frequent anginal episodes, and the third one is mortality decrease. Adverse effects of beta blockers are bradycardia, heart block and bronchospasm. These are 3 adverse effects of beta blockers. I will explain you the second time of beta blockers. Beta blockers is also 4: propranolol, metoprolol, atenolol, timolol. These 4 drugs blocks the respiratory path of heart, so that heart rate will be decreased, and also myocardial infarction flow will be decreased, so it enters into the cardiac work. So finally it leads to the decreased rate of myocardial oxygen consumption. Then the uses will be increased exercise tolerance, decreased mortality, and the decreased frequent anginal attacks. Adverse effects are bradycardia, heart block, bronchospasm. Next we go into the calcium channel blockers. Calcium channel blockers are of 3 types: L type, N type and T types. 3 types. There are classification of two different types: dihydropyridine and others. In dihydropyridine, we can categorize the calcium channel blockers as dipine. First one, beta blockers LOL, and calcium channel blockers as dipine: nifedipine, nimoldipine, dizoldipine, amlodipine, nicardipine, felodipine, istradipine. In others, only 2 drugs are involved: verapamil and diltiazem. The most commonly used calcium channel blocks drugs are verapamil. It's used in most of the severe conditions. We can see now the adverse effects of calcium channel blockers. Comparatively, we have taken as nifedipine, verapamil and diltiazem. The adverse effects of nifedipine are: first, it involved in palpitation, reflex tachycardia, edema, fatigue, dizziness and sedation. The second one is verapamil. Verapamil adverse effects are constipation, sinus bradycardia. In nifedipine, it occurs reflex tachycardia. Verapamil, it will be sinus bradycardia. And as comparatively, nifedipine and verapamil are same as edema. Then the verapamil has AV node block and headache rarely. The third one is diltiazem. Diltiazem has headache, hypotension, bradycardia. Comparatively of 2, these will be 3 common symptoms: headache, hypotension, bradycardia, edema and AV node block rarely. These are the adverse effects of calcium channel blockers, 3 drugs. Next we go into the actions. It acts on the cardiac, smooth muscles and little action effects on veins. Next we go drug by drug. In verapamil, the phenylalkylamine is added as a action on heart, so it will lead to decreased force of contraction and decreased SA nodes. Verapamil involves phenylalkylamine and has also action on heart. It leads to force of contraction decreases the force of contraction and decreases the SA node. The second drug is diltiazem. Diltiazem is also has a vasodilating property. The treatment of it also involved in treatment of angina, hypertension, arrhythmia. The third one is nifedipine. Nifedipine has an action on smooth muscle. Tachycardia and palpitation are common one here. And the fourth one is amlodipine. The side effects are headache and edema, but it also effectively used in anginal conditions. Then the effects of calcium channel blockers are is the vasodilation property and relaxation of smooth muscles it involved. Next we go into the uses of calcium channel blockers. In uses of calcium channel blockers are divided into various categories. In exertional angina, in variant angina, in unstable angina, supravenous arrhythmia, hypertension, migraine and labor conditions. First we go into the exertional. Exertional, it is involved in angina pectoris by decreasing the myocardial oxygen consumption and dilatation of coronary arteries. The calcium channel blockers are used in angina pectoris by decreasing in myocardial oxygen consumption and dilatation of coronary arteries. In variant angina, it leads to coronal spasm, so drugs will be involved are amlodipine, nifedipine and are used. These two drugs are mainly used to relieve the pain in the coronal spasm. The third one is unstable angina. Unstable angina conditions, if the unstable angina is not relieved by nifedipine and beta blockers, the third category will be calcium channel blockers can be used. Then the supravenous arrhythmia. In supravenous arrhythmia, verapamil is commonly used. It mainly depends actions on SA node and sinus arterial node and arterioventricular node. The next one is in hypertensive conditions. The verapamil are also used in hypertensive conditions, and verapamil is used in asthma, hyperlipidemia and renal conditions. The final one, migraine. Its migraine, verapamil can be commonly used and also used in subarachnoid hemorrhage, and the calcium channel blockers can also used in preterm labor. Next we go into the potassium channel blockers. Potassium channel blockers, only one common drug are used, that is one is nicorandil. They are administered orally. Side effects are just common as headache, hypertension, palpitation, nausea. These are the potassium channel blockers mechanism. First, nicorandil will be opens into the ATP dependent calcium channels, and the calcium then finally leads to calcium efflux out of the channels. Then it finally leads to hyperpolarization of vascular smooth muscle cells. In hyperpolarization, it leads to two types, venodilatation and arterial dilation. In venodilatation, it will be lead to decreased preload, and in arterial dilation, it will lead to decreased afterload. Nicorandil opens into the ATP dependent calcium channels and takes out the potassium efflux out, and finally leads to hyperpolarization of smooth muscle. It is divided into two, venodilation and arterial dilation. In venodilation, it leads to decreased preload, and arterial dilation, it will leads to decreased afterload. Next we go into the combination drugs. In combination drugs, we can see as nitrates plus beta blockers, or nifedipine plus beta blockers, nitrate plus calcium channel blockers, and calcium channel blockers plus beta blockers. We can see that in nitrate plus beta blockers, propranolol is used. It is used for increasing left ventricular diastolic consumption, the diastolic volume. Nitrate plus beta blocker, that is a propranolol. It is used increasing in left ventricular diastolic volume and decreased PVR. It finally leads to tachycardia, block coronary spasm. And the second one is nifedipine plus beta it leads to reflex tachycardia. Then the nitrates plus calcium channel will be leads to preload and afterload. Calcium channel blockers plus beta blockers leads to severe angina. These are four combination of other drugs here. First one, nitrates plus beta blockers. Thus beta blockers, propranolol will be used. It is used in exertional angina conditions and also used in increasing the left ventricular diastolic volume, and also it leads into tachycardia, reflex tachycardia, blocks coronary spasm. The second one is nifedipine plus beta blockers. It is involved in reflex tachycardia. The third one is nitrates plus calcium channel blockers. It leads to preload and afterload conditions. The final one, calcium channel blockers plus beta blockers, it leads to severe angina. We now see here drugs in angina. Next we go into the myocardial infarction drugs. There are only 3 drugs there. One is nitrates, and second one is antiplatelets, third one is analgesia, and the final one is anticoagulants. In nitrates, nitroglycerin used 0.5 mg, and also intranitroglycerin can be used in myocardial infarction conditions. In antiplatelets, aspirin is given in 162 or 325 mg in dosage, or clopidogrel is used in 300 mg only. Aspirin 162 to or 325 mg, clopidogrel is used in 300 mg. Analgesia will be used in conditions of opioid analgesics to only for relieving pains. Anticoagulants are used in heparin. Heparin will be used. Reperfusion will be involved in thromboepileptic conditions for restoring the blood vessels and the risk factors of myocardial infarction are smoking, body weight, and diabetes. So, for the treatment of myocardial infarction, we should stop the smoking habit and decrease the body weight and maintaining the diabetic conditions. The final one is uses of anti-anginal drugs in dentistry. In acute anginal headache, nitroglycerin will be given sublingually, and also adrenaline should be avoided for acute episodes because of in the treatment of dentistry. Let's go by revision. First one is anti-anginal drugs. Anti-anginal drugs is angina pectoris is a symptoms of ischemic heart disease. They are divided into two forms: classical form, variant form. There will be three stages: stable angina, unstable angina, and variant angina. And the pathophysiology will be to increase oxygen supply and decrease oxygen demand. The treatment will be maintaining balance between oxygen supply and oxygen demand. Classification of anti-anginal drugs will be 5: nitrates, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, and others. In nitrates, it will be nitroglycerin, isosorbate mononitrate, isosorbate dinitrate, and tetranitrate. Beta blockers will be LOL, propranolol, atenolol, metoprolol, timolol. Next, we go into the potassium channel blockers. In potassium channel blockers, only one is used, nicorandil. And the calcium channel blockers, it ends with dipine, dihydropyridine, and others. There are two types. Thank you everyone for watching this, and keep supporting me.